Hey guys, now obviously I don't agree with Joshua Feuerstein at all. However, I still support his religious freedom to preach the bullshit that he does. However, when I do hear bullshit, I will call it out, so no one is safe when when I'm around. So anyway, let's talk about the only thing. One of the main things, actually, we do not want to hear Joshua Feuerstein talk about, and that is sex or kinky. Maybe he's talking about his new porno. Anyway, let's see what he has to say on the topic of sex and marriage.
Hey guys, what's up? Josh Feuerstein here. So I am coming to you today to talk to you about something that I think is a blessing, a problem. It is and can be a curse. I want to talk to you about sex, probably the one subject that all of society is absolutely enamored with. I want to talk to you a little bit about marriage, sex, cheating, stuff like this. Coincidentally, in kind of a weird related way, my wife actually has a brand new page, and I'm leaving the link in. I want you to go help me surprise her. She doesn't even know that her page has been verified yet, but I want you to help me surprise her. Just click on her name and follow her page. She's going to be doing some cool stuff. You know, I've been blessed over the last little bit over a year to be married. Now, I was one of the guys that saved myself for marriage, which is a long time wait to be intimate with somebody. But a lot of marriages that are beginning to fall apart because of one spouse or another that is cheating on the other one. So I just want to talk to you just a little bit about marriage, a little bit about sex, and even sex outside of marriage. All right, is that cool with y'all? And if you guys want to go ahead and post your questions, it's a live session, so you can go ahead and do that. You know, traveling and doing the things that I do, you know, it is obviously there's going to be moments in life, especially times that I go out alone. Now, usually when I go out to speak at an engagement and my wife's not with me, I'll have my good friend Paul or Rick or something that will come with me. But I've set up certain safeguards because I think that it's one thing that we need to make sure that we protect is intimacy within relationship, particularly intimacy within marriage.
Before we continue, first of all, honey, you might not want to blow me because he's going to get pissed off. Anyway, okay, it was Josh's choice to be abstinent. That's fine with him. However, there is a problem with abstinent sex education, which I'll talk about in a different video. But what, is this guy like 42 or something? No, he's in his 30s. But yeah, some people do save themselves until they're married. But until then, Josh, did you ever, you know, jerk off or something? Because, you know, masturbation is also, it is a sexual act that involves yourself and no one else, so that's not really absent. But adults are having sex. Disgustingly enough, elderly people are using Viagra. I know it's not. It's something I want to think about. But let's talk. I just want to get those things out of the way because people, a lot of kids are told that sex is wrong, STDs are real, and they burn a cucumber on a frying pan. This is how this shit works. But okay, now I'm interested in these safeguards. So when you go with your friends and all that on road trips, when you're without your wife, do you have these safeguards so you guys don't butt fuck each other in the shower? I mean, what are these safeguards? I am truly interested.
You know, one thing that I do and I notice is even when there's people that will come up, young ladies or something, they'll see the Facebook followers or the blue check mark or something. They'll think, oh, they get a little bit enamored. And there's always those girls, those people that even though they see your wedding ring, that really doesn't mean anything to them because they don't respect the ring. And so one thing that I've noticed is realizing that it really is a spiritual issue. It's a spiritual battle. And I realize that even those people that come along, those young ladies that try to come around and they're trying to be seductive or this, you notice and realize that it's actually a spirit. It's actually a spirit that is sent and dressed itself up all nice to try to somehow steal something from you, to try to steal your integrity. You know, I know a lot of young guys that get all just tripping on all of the, you know, girls that are coming around and they think that they're really in it for them. You know, I've actually been with other guys that have large followings, and I mean the girls coming up just constantly hitting on them. I mean, if you've ever been with my buddy Clayton Jennings, I mean there are tons of girls that are coming up to him, and we just had a powerful conversation about this because one thing that you have to understand is that it's actually the enemy that's just dressed up in a little cute dress that's trying to take your integrity, trying to take something from you. Now, especially with it.
I just want to stop it there real quick. I don't think it's much as a spiritual problem as it is a morality problem. Joshua Feuerstein, I agree with him. There are women and men out there who, once they see a marriage ring, ring or what a wedding band or and all that. Once they see that, they don't give a shit. They're the type of people who just don't give a shit about that person's marriage. They only care about the flirtation and the you know the one night stand and all that. And of course, does it go for all men and women? There are men and women out there who do respect people's marriages, and once they see the wedding ring, they back off. But this is to the men and women out there who do not respect the ring, and they're just in it for the one night stand and the affair and all that, and it does cause a problem. And I think Joshua Feuerstein and I could agree on this, is the fact that they have no morality. They have no decency. They have no brain. They can't think when it comes to these things. Yeah, so this was, I think, the first thing in a while I've actually heard from Joshua Feuerstein that makes complete sense. And that's a surprise for me to say that. But yeah, there are men and women out there who do not respect wedding bands or rings and all that of married men. But there are also married men and women out there as well who don't respect their own marriages and go around with these men and women who don't respect the fact that they're married, and these people who are married apparently don't respect the fact that they are married. They don't care about being true to their marriage, so both parties are to blame. It's not just the one. I think Joshua Feuerstein should bring this up.
In marriage, you know, it's interesting that we call it cheating. Really, it's not cheating. It's stealing. Think about this. When you are married, that means that you now belong to that other person and they belong to you. That's why when you get married, that the courts bring together all of your assets, because now you're one. You belong to each other.
Hold on. Let's get one thing straight, Josh. Obviously, you've been a Christian for a long time, and obviously you were used to this indoctrination from the Bible that says once a woman is married to a man, then she is his property. No, not true. When someone gets married, no one is each other's property. No one is no. They are not property, as you You didn't put it that way, but it came out that way. No. They may be married to each other, but do they belong to each other as in property? No. Because if that were so, if I were to marry my boyfriend, which I don't have one, but I am looking for one. So if I were to marry my boyfriend, he would not be my property and it would not be his property, because although we may be married per se, the thing is, he's his own individual person and I'm my own individual person. Just like you're your own individual person, your wife is her own individual person. Everybody is their own individual person in a marriage. They might be together in a matrimonial union, but that's about it. Other than that, no one belongs to anybody.
And so let me just ask you this. We like to give it the term cheating, but doesn't it make sense that if you go out and sleep with another man's wife or another man's husband or another woman's husband, that's stealing? That's stealing someone else's property. I mean, if you saw...
You know what's going to come out? No, like I said, no one is anybody's property in a marriage. That is such a wrong terminology to explain marriage. If you explain marriage to a child, my sister's age, 8 years old, my sister's sharp as a knife. And if I told her that, marriage is when a woman becomes other man's property, or a man becomes another man's property, or a woman becomes another woman's property, what do you think about marriage? She would say, would anybody get married then? My sister is sharp as a knife, and that would be her response. Nobody is anybody's property in marriage, like I said. It is cheating for a reason. Is it breaking a commitment? Yes. But is it stealing? No, it's cheating. Because no one is anybody's property in a marriage. I'll elaborate that as many times as I have to.
Them, there's sunglasses laying there, maybe a Chanel pair of sunglasses. You wouldn't steal those sunglasses, no, because they belong to that person. So it's not just cheating, it's actually stealing. And here's the dumb thing, because cheating and stealing, as I like to call it, is probably the worst investment in the world. Because here's what you do. You are investing everything for one moment. One little moment of fun, the one little moment of pleasure, temporary, one little moment. And then you live with a lifetime of guilt, a lifetime of suspicion, a lifetime of worry or concern. Somebody else is going to, find out about it, or, you're always living with that weighing on you. Every time that your wife says, hey, we need to talk, maybe it's in the back of your mind. I have so many guy friends, people that I've come across and had conversations with, that literally for decades, some of them have just had this thing sitting on them because they chose a moment. And now it's been a lifetime of frustration, and people that have had now broken families and kids that grown up hating them, and families that have been estranged, all over one stupid moment. Now think about this. I was one that actually saved myself for marriage, didn't have sex before marriage. I want to talk a little bit about that.
Okay, before you continue on about not having sex before marriage, first of all, a pair of Chanel sunglasses, what the hell did I do, is not the same as having a one-night stand, because Chanel sunglasses, that's a physical material, and that is property of someone. A person is not property of anybody. If you don't want to use cheating, at least say they're borrowing. They're borrowing the other person to fuck them. That's it. You could say borrowing if you don't want to use cheating. Pretty much means the same thing, except you're not putting the immoral property word to somebody in a marriage. You could say borrowing all you want, and that would be perfectly fine, just saying.
Because I know that we live in a society that says try it before you buy it. Okay, we live in a society today that says that, hey, it's totally cool, just go out, have a good time, sow your wild oats, etc., etc. Now, let me just kind of point this out. The reason that I think it's important, biblically, first of all, to save yourself for marriage. And even if you made a mistake, I'm not saying that you're condemned, you're horrible, blah, 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 because Jesus Christ forgives, sets free, etc., etc. But let me explain, just even from a psychological standpoint, marriage is an agreement. Okay, marriage is God ordained, it is biblical. So watch this. If somebody wants to have sex with you outside of marriage, okay, think of marriage like a parenthesis. If someone wants to have sex with you outside of that parenthesis, then what happens when you get in that marriage? If they don't respect the marriage covenant before marriage, what makes you think that they're going to respect the marriage covenant during marriage?
Okay, Josh, even though I'm 21 years old, don't have a partner yet, however, I could tell you, sex is a human animalistic tendency that all humans practice. It's teenagers fucking, it's adults fucking, like I said, disgustingly elderly people fucking. Like I said, shit you want to think about, but it happens. You know why? Because even when people are married, they're still fucking, because it's an animalistic instinct that we have, is in the heat of the moment of passion, is to have sex. And even in the heat of moment of passion, when you're not with someone, it is animalistic for men and women to masturbate. It's normal. And there's no biblical reason to save yourself for marriage. Maybe you want to save yourself for marriage because you don't feel comfortable catching any STDs. That's a perfectly fine thing to be abstinent about. That's a valid reason. It is in a way a valid reason to go with the whole biblical thing, but I don't see how valid that is. That's just following indoctrination. But this is why I love how he talks about marriage. He talks about marriage as if it's still only between a man and a woman. It's also between two men and two men, two women and two women, or a tranny and a cisgender man, or a tranny and a cisgender woman. Marriage can be anything. It's not only between a man and man. It's not only between a man or a woman. Marriage could be between any two people who love each other. And frankly, I think the government should fucking stay out of people's marriages, because with the blood test and the marriage certificates, the reason why I think they're complete bullshit is because if you're related to like say your second cousin, and you love her so much and you want to marry her, you can, because the blood test says that you're related. So you have to marry someone who isn't related to you, which is so fucking stupid. The government should not be involved with marriages. But anyway, continue, Josh.
I'm gonna say that again. If they don't respect the marriage covenant before marriage, what makes you think they're going to respect it during marriage?
Okay, he brings up a good point. I'll give him credit. This is why you have sex with the person you're thinking of marrying before you marry them, because if in a relationship they don't respect the relationship that you're currently in, that should give you a fucking sign that they're not going to respect the marriage. You don't. It's not like you save yourself for marriage and then find out that they're not the right person. Even if you're abstinent and they don't respect your relationship currently, that should give you a clear fucking sign that they're not going to respect the marriage.
Think about that. It's actually some stuff to consider there. You know, in talking with people, even in counseling people, all of the inboxes that are coming in from people whose marriages are falling apart, I hear a lot of people say, well, I just fell out of love. First of all, let me just say this. We get our ideas of what love is from movies, okay?
True in a way, but it's also a human emotion. He's going to say it isn't. No, it is a human emotion, Josh. The reason why it is a human emotion because our heart and and our minds and our heart work as emotion engine. Our heart is basically, we could tell when we're in love or when we found the right person. Scientifically, it is said you found the right person to love when your heart is beating at a rate that you can't describe, and that had happened to me. It was Christmas. It was after Christmas of 2014, and my parents, my little sister and I, we went to the Allentown Mall here in Pennsylvania, and I was in the atheism section. Yeah, there was a section that said atheism, and this girl and her friend were walking by, and I was looking for a Richard Dawkins book. So anyway, I started this conversation with a beautiful 20 some odd year old woman, who's also an atheist as well, and my heart was beating at a rate that I couldn't describe. So did I find the right one? Of course. And stupid me didn't ask her for her phone number. I could have been in a relationship with this girl already. But the thing is, the heart can tell when you're in love. And love is a feeling. It isn't a plot line in a dumbass romantic comedy. I don't think The Notebook or any of these romantic comedies come even close to describing what real love is. I think they're just it's Hollywood love. There's Hollywood love and real love, completely fucking different.
Love is not The Notebook. Love is not some Hollywood soundtrack where people are spinning around and just this, like love. That's not love. That's fantasy. Okay, and there's all these people. Oh my word, I fell out of love. I just totally fell out of love. I just don't love him anymore. I don't love her anymore. Love is not a feeling. Love is not an emotion. Love is what carries you through the times that you don't feel the feeling. Is there going to be days that my wife's going to be upset at me and maybe she's not just feeling that Twitter-pated feeling in her stomach? Yeah. Are there going to be days I probably feel that way about her? I'm sure there's going to be moments, at least, maybe of times that we're upset at each other. But guys, think about this. It's the love. Love is a commitment. It's a commitment to that person. It's a contract and an agreement that's sealed by God. Love.
Okay. First of all, you could believe that it's a sealed contract sent by God. You could believe that all you want, but love is a human emotion. I'll elaborate again. Love is a human emotion. You can't deny that. And I paused at the right moment. It looks like he's jerking off. Anyway, I gotta turn away for the computer to finish my thought. But anyway, when you put indoctrination in a marriage or people's love life, you're completely not even acknowledging the human spectrum of that, the human emotion of it, because that's what goes into a marriage. That's what goes into a real relationship is love, human emotion, not biblical fantasy.
Love is not an emotion. Love is a commitment. It's a choice that you make. So, anyways, I challenge you. Maybe there's somebody that's watching this and you're considering having an affair or going out, or look, don't even put yourself in those positions. A lot of times, affairs don't happen in just the spur of the moment. They're things that are literally premeditated in little small increments because we start giving away. It's one flirtation with a coworker. It's yeah. It's going out to eat with a member of the opposite sex that isn't your wife. It's doing this kind of stuff, guys, that we begin to open up the door for now those types of feelings and thinking. Look, Paul told us this. He said,
okay, do have to agree with him on a the thing that I just mentioned. But I have, like he said, if you're thinking of going into an affair or cheating on your spouse, not to put yourself in that position, I agree wholeheartedly. You shouldn't do that, because if you truly love the person you're married to, you shouldn't have any plans on cheating on them. However, I do disagree with affairs start with like taking a coworker of the opposite sex to dinner. No, maybe that's a friend that you knew for a long fucking time, and you just want to have a lovely evening with her, and to catch up with her. There's a lot of people in relationships, married and or not, that do have friends who they knew longer than the person they're in a relationship with, and they say, honey, I love you dearly, but tonight my friend and I are going to go out to eat, so um, I'll see you later. And of course, it's going to sting that they don't want their significant other on the dinner date with them, which I completely understand. But when you want to catch up with someone that you knew for a long time, maybe you just want your friend and you to have that reunion dinner without, you know, bringing your spouse, because I don't know, maybe that's just me, but some people just want to have that quiet time with their friends, that catch up time with their friends that they haven't seen in a long time. You don't necessarily need to take your spouse everywhere you go.
take into captivity every thought, every imagination. Oftentimes, what we do, especially men are so visual, is we'll let an image, we'll be looking and we'll see something that looks kind of good, and then what we do is we let that image become an imagination because we don't take it into captivity, we don't put it in a mental jail cell, we don't kill it, and now that image becomes an imagination, and sooner or later we act on it. Why do you think we live in a violent society today? Because kids are playing video games in which they're literally able to see or imagine themselves shooting someone else or killing someone else or stealing their car. Grand Theft Auto, games like that. When they can image, when they can imagine it, when they can see themselves and visualize themselves doing it, they're more likely to do it. So I challenge you, stop visualizing. Whenever you have a thought, look, turn away from it and find somebody that you can be accountable to. In fact, I just arrived here in a different city. I won't tell you what city or hotel because I'm smart like that. And but my wife's not able to be with me. So guess what? My buddy is literally flying in to be my accountability partner this week. And it's not because my wife doesn't trust me. It's not because I don't trust me. It's because I've set up safeguards. I've set up safeguards. Safeguards. You need to set up safeguards too. If you have a close friend that's a member of the opposite sex and look, and is not your wife or is not your husband, you need to set boundaries. You need to set safeguards.
Like I said, no, you don't. Safeguards are important in the marriage. I agree, but like I said, if a friend they knew for a long time comes into town and you don't want your wife or spouse with you, you don't need to bring them. You could just have a lovely evening with you and your friend. You know, there's a lot of couples that are like that. And Christ. Honestly,
Safeguards. So guess what? A different city. I won't tell you what city or hotel because I'm visualizing. Whenever you have a thought, look, turn away from it and find somebody that you can be accountable to. In fact,
okay. I just gotta go back real quick. Whenever you have a thought, turn away from it. You know, you could make that. Could have made that more clear. You said you could have said, if you have a thought of cheating on your spouse, turn away from it, and I would agree. But when you phrase it as, when you have a thought, turn away from it, I'm assuming someone going like this. I have to do my laundry today. No, it's a thought. I'm not going to do it. When you don't act on your thoughts, shit ain't gonna get done.
I just arrived here in a different city. I won't tell you what city or hotel because I'm smart like that. And but my wife's not able to be with me. So guess what? My buddy is literally flying in to be my accountability partner this week. And it's not.
Wait. You're at an event in an unknown city, in an unknown hotel, and your wife is not able to be with you. Why not? Is there a reason why she can't be with you? Or is it because you want to go to this event by yourself and want to be with your friend? Like I said, a lot of couples are like that. How attractive is your friend that he's flying in to be with you?
Not because my wife doesn't trust me. It's not because I don't trust me.
Bullshit.
It's because I've set up safeguards. Safeguards. You need to set up safeguards too. If you have a close friend that's a member of the opposite sex and is not your wife or is not your husband, you need to set boundaries. You need to set safeguards. Anyways, I love you guys. If your wife cheated, would you divorce? From Mike. That's
okay. So Josh said about 2 things in there I agree with. Other than that, I think Josh is trying to push this mentality that you can't have sex before marriage because it's a dirty thing. No, it isn't. He's trying to push the idea of abstinence down people's throats in a non-throat pushing way. Look, Josh, you sound like you had a very sheltered life, and I feel sorry for you. And the reason why I do feel sorry for you is because it sounds like you weren't able to experience the joys of life, the joys of sex, the joys of, humor, friends, and all that. It sounds like you had a very sheltered life. I really feel sorry for you because that is a really traumatic thing to experience, is a sheltered life. I really feel sorry for you because it sounds like you never had any true experiences of life until you got married. But not even these experiences are enough to tell you that life is more than religion. Life is more than marriage. Life can be fun without marriage. Life can be fun without abstinence. You know what? After doing this video, I kind of feel sorry they actually did this because it sounds like this, like I said, it sounds like he had a very sheltered life, and it's sad. It really is. With that being said, see you guys.